All across the country, we've had all types of sightseers gather on the outskirts of small towns to catch a glimpse of history as the Great American Road Race passes by. And so we thought it was time to stop and chat with some who really have a bird's eye view of the race. Well, big guy, what do you think of this race so far? No comment. Well, I guess you can't blame them. After all, it is these vintage autos that put these big fellows out of business so many years ago. And as long as we're talking about the horseless carriage, let's take a look at a real masterpiece.
The oldest vehicle entered in the Great American Race is this 1902, that's right, I said 1902 Mercedes, and it's manned by the youngest crew in the event. The vehicle is driven by 24-year-old Bill Evans Jr., who reflects on its history.
First time I remember seeing the car was in 1963 when it came into our garage in a bunch of orange crates. So we restored it back then, put it in our restaurant about 15 years, then we went through it. And when I went through it, I took a very close look at some of the finest machining work I'd ever seen. It was designed very well. It's a 1902 Mercedes, but it's the equivalent of about a 1906 to a 1908 American car. It's very strong. It goes 60 miles an hour all day long, and there weren't really any other car that was made at the time. I don't think there'll ever be an older car that will successfully run the race. The oiling system, basically, this was before they had any way of keeping the oil. You just adjust the screw and it drip onto whatever part it was, and then it drip out on the road. It was called a total waste system. Oil was, 7 cents a gallon then, so it didn't matter. We have the chain drive down here, and this is what propelled the car. That was before they really had invented a drive shaft. It doesn't seem the safest way to do it, but it got the cars down the road.
The race has a special meaning for the Evans family.
Well, my father had entered the race in November of last year. He had planned to take the Mercedes, and on Easter morning he died. And so decision didn't take us long to make the decision just to continue on with it. I was supposed to drive with him and navigate, but instead I've been driving the car and navigating with several of my mechanics.
So this was a dream he had for quite a while.
He had, and I think one of the reasons why we're here is because someone's watching out for us.
And on to Wichita Falls for another Texas official Great Race Day and more good old Texas barbecue. Compliments of the Chamber of Commerce. The Spirit of 76 team and winners of the Oldest Crew Award may also be the cutest couple.
Herb and Helen Stair continue their journey across the country, and while it hasn't been exactly flawless, they've managed to get around a few roadblocks. Helen, it's a little hard to navigate when you don't have a stopwatch.
You're right, or when the stopwatch suddenly turns out to be a minute slow or a minute fast or something like that. Or it stops. And then you're left high and dry.
Now, Herb, you've been on your wife's case even before you left about her navigating, but this was a little bit out of her hands.
Well, let's say that she'd probably do a better job of navigation on the ocean.
I'll never live it down.
About midway through the trip, I imagine there's a little bit of fatigue setting in. Are you getting tired?
I think we're getting stronger. Actually, I seem to be less tired at the end of each day now than we did at first.
Helen, how are you feeling?
I agree. It's easier to get to sleep at night.
Well, we've reached the halfway point of this Great American Race. Day 5 has brought us to Dallas, Barbie, with some of that great Texas hospitality.
It sure has, and it's been more successful over the last couple of days for most of the drivers. Those who aren't able to finish the race are getting fewer by the day.
After another 5 a.m. drivers meeting and 6 a.m. start to avoid Dallas traffic, the competitors are experiencing their first taste of questionable weather, a slight mist falling at sunrise. Dallas is the national headquarters of Great Race Limited, the organizers of the Great American Race. Tom McRae, executive director of Great Race, talks about the challenge.
Well, you're close, but I think everybody in the event is a winner. It is actually a tremendous feat to take an old car 3,000 miles in this structured amount of time. And these guys work on the cars all night. They rebuild some, in some cases, completely rebuild the engines overnight. And just to finish, you're a winner. It's great that the prize money is there. They all say that, most of them say that, I don't think I'm going to win the 100,000. I just want to do it. But in the back of their mind, they know there's always that possibility there that they could pick up $100,000 in Indianapolis. So it turns them on. There's no doubt about it.
Is everybody here just to kind of have fun, or is there people here who are real serious about it?
Oh, I think most of them are here to have fun. There's probably 2 or 3 that are serious. Everybody wants to win, but the main thing is to have fun, have a good time.
Well, go have fun then. Ken Downing's attitude exemplifies the spirit of the event, losing first place to Ed House, his fellow Texan, in fact, dropping out of the top 10.